Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm Megan Shevik, trustee and grant committee chair at the DuPage Foundation. Last month, we launched the DuPage Community Transformation Partnership, a collaborative endeavor between DuPage Foundation and DuPage County. Through the partnership, we are distributing grants through two processes: an immediate intervention grant process and a transformational grant process. The immediate intervention grant application process is already underway. Our evaluation team has reviewed the letters of intent that were submitted earlier this month. Emails will be sent out this afternoon to applicants advising the status of their requests. Unfortunately, the need is greater than the amount of available funds. Therefore, we're not able to invite every applicant who submitted an LOI to submit a full application. With that said, the immediate intervention grant opportunity will be offered again next year. Today's information session will last about 30 minutes and will focus on the upcoming transformational process. Please provide your questions in the Q&A area and we will answer as many as possible. Questions and answers related to the transformational grants will be added to our facts section, frequently asked questions, on the DuPage Foundation website. Thank you for being here today and welcome Mary Keating, DuPage County Director of Community Services.
Thank you, Megan. So as we worked with the DuPage Foundation to create the Community Transformation Partnership, we saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime investment from the county board. So in addition to the immediate intervention grants, we knew that we needed a separate process to identify new programs, initiatives, and opportunities that would create lasting and sustainable change. So as with the immediate intervention grants, our focus continues to be on the areas of food insecurity, housing instability, mental health, and substance use disorder. But now we're interested in proposals that will improve the efficiency, effectiveness, or capacity of your organization and programs. We're also extremely interested in applications that include a formal collaboration between two or more agencies. So now Barb Sapaniak from DuPage Foundation is going to walk through the specifics of the application process.
Thank you, Mary. So I'm sure many of you have thought about, you or your boards have thought about what you would do if you suddenly received a large gift from a donor. You would likely want to do something really big with that gift. You might have a strategy or program in mind that you know would have impact, but you just haven't had the funds to implement it yet. You may have a system that would be more efficient and have greater impact if you can invest funding to scale it. Or you heard about an initiative that is having great impact in another community, but you want to bring it to DuPage. The definition of transformation is a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. And that's really what we want to accomplish with the projects that we will be funding through the transformational grant process. Through this process, we are looking for evidence-based, creative, and innovative programs and strategies that will expand impact for residents who have been most impacted by the COVID pandemic. And as Mary said, this is an opportunity to create long-term sustainable solutions for now and for our future. And again, as Mary said, we really encourage you to consider creating collaborations to address these issues. There are many examples of very successful collaborations that have already been formed in DuPage County. And with multiple agencies and leaders coming together to solve difficult problems, we have seen a great deal of traction in many of these areas. So this is one of those unique opportunities that will provide funding toward the support of a collaboration. The guidelines for the DuPage County Transformation Partnership Grant Program are posted on the DuPage Foundation's website, along with the transformational LOI application. There is no minimum or maximum amount that you can request through this process, as long as the project has outcomes that reflect a transformational project. And while we aren't providing funding parameters, we expect applicants to be realistic about your capacity to manage the size of the grant you request, and the appropriate amount to apply for is really related to the size of your organization, scope of the need, scale of the project, outcomes you will be measuring, the long-term impact you intend to have, and the number of residents that will be affected. Organizations will be eligible to apply for a 1-year or a 2-year grant, and a second transformational grant opportunity is anticipated for the fall of 2024. This process will begin with the submission of an LOI, which will be due June 3rd at 5:00 p.m. And as always, we will not consider any late submissions. Our evaluation team will review the LOIs and will invite organizations with the most promising proposals to submit a full application. Applicants will be advised by mid-July whether they are invited to submit a full application, and that application will then be due September 15th, with grants being awarded in October. Grant recipients will be required to submit a progress report 1 year after the grant is awarded and a final report in December 2024, detailing the impact of the grant along with specific metrics related to their program. We also plan to hold interim meetings every 6 months with the transformational grant recipients to monitor progress and report to our respective boards, the DuPage County Board and the DuPage Foundation Board, about the impact the grants are having. And also knowing what's working well along the way will help us to connect donors and other funders whose interests align with these programs. Since our interest is specifically focused on building systems that support DuPage County residents, eligibility for these grants are limited to 501c3 social service agencies, in which more than 50% of individuals served are DuPage County residents. And there are a few organizations that serve the broader Chicagoland area, but have a center right here in DuPage from which services are delivered. Those agencies may apply for a program based out of the DuPage location. We've also considered supporting programs if an organization that's based outside DuPage already has a significant presence in the county and has an already existing advisory board that is focused specifically on DuPage. Some of the questions the evaluation team will be considering when assessing grant LOIs and applications include: does the project address a community need related to COVID? Is it an evidence-based program and are the proposed outcomes measurable? Does the organization have the capability to provide detailed reporting on the use of the grant? Does the organization or does the applicant organization have experience providing programs in one of these issue areas? And very importantly, is the organization financially sound? As we've mentioned, the funds for these grants were initiated by the federal government, so we will be reporting back to the county, and they subsequently will report back to the U.S. Treasury. And as a result, we need to collect more financials than we usually do. And a specific requirement is that organizations submit 2 recent independent audited financial statements. We do understand that some organizations don't have all the financial documents we are requesting, and unfortunately, without that information, they're not eligible to apply. In this case, however, if you're a smaller organization and you don't have all of the financial documents, we would encourage you to find a larger agency and to partner with them, going back to what we mentioned about collaboration. Finally, there will be additional factors that will be considered depending on the specific area of the grant request.